In the far reaches of the Andromeda cluster, on the verdant planet of Lyria, life thrived in forms both familiar and alien. Towering crystal spires punctuated the sky, shimmering with hues that shifted with every passing hour. The local populace, the Lausari, were a graceful species known for their luminescent skin and elongated limbs, their culture steeped in centuries of art, music, and diplomacy. Among them lived an alien woman named Elira, whose intellect and charm made her a figure of quiet fascination. Yet despite her accomplishments, she felt a restlessness that had never been quelled by status or beauty. It was during the annual festival of Starlight, a celebration of celestial alignments and cultural exchange, that Elira first encountered a human man named Marcus. He had arrived on Lyria as part of a human delegation seeking alliances and trade agreements, though humans were often regarded by the Lysari with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. Humans were sturdy, resilient, and bold, but they lacked the subtlety that Lysari prized. Marcus, however, did not seem intimidated by the planet's alien customs. He moved with a confidence that drew attention without demanding it, observing everything with keen intelligence. Elira first noticed him at the Grand Observatory, where crystal lenses magnified the distant stars, painting the chamber with shifting constellations. He was sketching the cosmic patterns on a tablet, completely absorbed, his brow furrowed in concentration. Curiosity stirred within Elira. She approached him, careful to respect the Lysari custom of maintaining personal space. "Your interest in the stars is remarkable," she said softly, her voice carrying the musical undertones characteristic of her kind. Marcus looked up, startled for a moment, and then smiled warmly. "I've always believed that the stars tell stories," he replied. "Stories that we humans sometimes forget to notice in our daily lives." The exchange, simple though it was, sparked a connection neither expected. Over the following days, they met frequently, first under the guise of discussing interplanetary affairs, but soon for the sheer joy of each other's company. Elira was captivated by Marcus's perspective on life, his directness, his humor, and his ability to see solutions where others saw only complications. Marcus, in turn, admired Elira's wisdom and the way her presence seemed to make the chaotic brilliance of Lyria's festivals more vivid and meaningful. As the days passed, Elira began to notice a stirring within herself that she could not ignore. In Lysari culture, attachments were carefully measured and public displays of affection were rare. Yet every time Marcus smiled at her or explained a theory about human engineering, her pulse quickened. She found herself thinking about him when they were apart, imagining his laughter, the way his eyes reflected starlight, and the gentle patience he showed toward her world. One evening, during a quiet moment atop the crystalline cliffs overlooking the twin moons of Lyria, Elira turned to Marcus. "There is something I must confess," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I find myself drawn to you in ways I do not fully understand. In my culture, such feelings are significant, and yet I feel compelled to act." Marcus's expression softened. "I feel it too," he admitted. "The connection is unexpected, but undeniable. I have never felt so understood by anyone before." Elira hesitated, then took a bold step. "Marcus, in my world, if one desires to unite with another in the bond we call marriage, it is not merely a promise of companionship. It is a commitment of hearts and minds, a vow to grow together and face all challenges as one." "I must ask, what must I do to wed you?" Marcus was taken aback. Human customs regarding commitment were simpler, but no less meaningful. He considered her words, the gravity behind them, and felt the weight of her sincerity. "If we are to take that step," he said slowly, "it must be with mutual respect and understanding. We must know each other truly and be ready to face the unknown together." Elira nodded, her luminescent eyes reflecting both hope and determination. "Then we shall learn together." I will open myself to your ways as you open yourself to mine. Their journey toward union began with shared adventures across Lyria. Marcus was introduced to the art of crystal weaving, a Lysari practice of shaping light and sound into tangible forms. Alira accompanied him on expeditions to map uncharted regions of the planet, learning about human tools and methods that emphasized practicality and resilience. Each experience deepened their bond, revealing layers of personality and strength that neither had anticipated. The more time they spent together, the more the cultural differences became opportunities for growth rather than obstacles. Alira discovered a joy in Marcus's improvisational problem-solving, his capacity to act decisively when the situation demanded it. Marcus, in turn, was fascinated by the meticulous care with which Alira approached decisions, weighing consequences with patience and wisdom. They complemented each other, bridging worlds through trust and shared experience. One day, while exploring the Whispering Forest, a region where the flora resonated with subtle frequencies, Alira paused, captivated by a rare bioluminescent bloom. Marcus knelt beside her, watching in quiet admiration. "You see things I could never notice," he said, "and you act in ways I could not imagine," she replied. "We make each other whole." The moment was quiet, but charged with unspoken promise. Alira realized then that the question of marriage was not merely a formality. It was the natural extension of their growing interdependence and mutual respect. When the day of the formal union approached, the Lysari and human delegates gathered. Under the Great Spire, a monumental crystalline tower that served as both a cultural hub and ceremonial site. The air was filled with the gentle hum of resonating crystals, a symphony that signified harmony and commitment. Alira and Marcus stood before the assembled witnesses, hearts aligned in anticipation and resolve. Alira spoke first, her voice echoing across the spire. "I, Alira, have come to know Marcus not only as an ally and friend, but as a partner of shared purpose and affection. In our differences, we have found understanding, and in our shared experiences, we have found trust. I ask now to unite our lives as one, in commitment, respect, and growth." Marcus met her gaze, the sincerity in his eyes unflinching. "I, Marcus, have walked many paths and seen countless wonders, yet none have captivated me like this one. Alira, in you, I have found both challenge and comfort, guidance and freedom. I promise to walk beside you, to learn and adapt, and to face all that the future brings together. I gladly accept your offer of union." The resonating crystals shimmered brighter, casting dancing lights across the chamber as their hands met. Elders and delegates from both worlds witnessed the ceremony with reverent silence, recognizing that this union was more than personal. It was symbolic. It represented the potential for human and Lysari cooperation, the blending of two cultures through respect, understanding, and shared purpose. After the formalities, Alira and Marcus stepped into the open air of the spire's observation deck. The twin moons rose in tandem, casting silver and pale blue light across the crystalline city. Alira turned to Marcus, her expression soft yet resolute. "Our journey is only beginning," she said, "and we will face it together," he replied, squeezing her hand gently. Their days that followed were filled with exploration, learning, and laughter. Marcus taught Alira about human customs, the simplicity and complexity of human society, and the ways humans nurtured relationships through gestures both grand and minute. Alira guided Marcus in the subtleties of Lysari etiquette, the art of diplomacy, and the intricate beauty of their music and crystal craft. In time, their bond inspired others. Humans and Lysari began collaborative projects, inspired by the unity demonstrated by Marcus and Alira. Trade routes flourished, knowledge was exchanged, and cultural understanding deepened. The union of a human and a Lysari became a living testament to the possibilities of interstellar cooperation. of harmony forged not by domination or assimilation, but by respect, curiosity, and shared aspiration. Years later, they returned to the cliffs where they had first confessed their mutual attraction. The twin moons hung in the sky as they watched the horizon together, the planet's vibrant landscapes sprawling below. Alira leaned against Marcus, a contented smile gracing her features. "I could never have imagined this," she said softly, "that a human and an alien could come together, learn, and grow in such harmony." Marcus smiled, his eyes reflecting the starlight. "Neither could I, but we did. And we will continue to do so every day." In the stillness of that moment, with two worlds in quiet balance and two hearts intertwined, Alira realized that the question she had once asked, what she must do to wed a human, had been answered not by ceremony alone, but by the daily acts of understanding, courage, and devotion. Their union was proof that across stars and species, love, respect, and shared purpose could overcome even the vastest of differences, shaping a future bright with possibility and hope. And so, on Lyria, under skies both alien and familiar, alien woman and the human man continued their journey, not as strangers from separate worlds, but as partners, companions, and explorers of the infinite mysteries that lay before them. Their story became one whispered among both species, a tale of connection that transcended culture, biology, and distance, a story of two hearts drawn together by curiosity, respect, and an unyielding desire to face the